Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 119th video on my video journal series. Today's date is Sunday, the 7th of June 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And sorry, it's just my lips a little bit crusty today, so I'm just trying to obviously keep myself hydrated and obviously just fix my lip. Hopefully it's not too annoying, but yeah, today my day's been pretty good. I went to go visit my grandfather's house today, and we picked up a lot of old family photos, mostly of my brother and my mom. I know I pronounced that a little bit American, my mom, but no, it was very fun looking back at all those old photos, even though I wasn't in any of them, because I was born in '06, right? The photos went up to '05, but it's quite hard to find childhood photos of me, you know? You can find a lot of my brother and my sis, but when it comes to me, just standalone images of me, it's really hard to find. Middle child problems, am I right? Well, yeah, like obviously, I haven't looked through these photos before. They're completely brand new to me, but my mum, she hasn't looked at them in like decades. So, no, it was very nice. Trip down memory lane. And obviously now I'm, starting to archive more stuff. Hopefully these photos and videos that I take now will be worth something 30 years time. But yeah, a lot of these photos were around the like 90s and early 2000s. Even came like those old Big W envelopes when they used to develop film and photo printing services in store. So yeah, it was a trip down memory lane, just seeing the old Big W logo, because I used to shop at Big W a lot, and just seeing that old logo and just brings me back memories. Even though I wasn't alive back then, just brings me back of memories of me shopping at Big W. And yeah, like I always make an effort to conserve the past. Whenever I'm handling photos, I'm like very intricate. A lot of people just shove them in the sleeves and whatever. I'm like, be careful. Once you damage this photo, you can't get it back. All right, you can't get it back unless you digitize it and all that, which I should most probably do. Because yeah, photos don't last forever. Digitize stuff, make copies of stuff, preserve stuff. Because yet again, like I said, once you destroy your only photograph of something, that's it. It's gone forever. So yeah, luckily they're all in like binders and sleeves, the vast majority of them, and someday I'll get around to like scanning all of them, just for convenience. And yeah, that's just what I like to do: archiving stuff, family stuff, public stuff, stuff that I make. Yeah, because I've definitely when I was young, I used to like delete photos and videos off like my devices, which I regretted because I only had like limited storage, and I've lost so many, valuable stuff just because of that. So I've been trying to archive stuff. Now I don't delete anything unless it's like me taking a photo of the Wi-Fi router password, for instance, and I'll delete that. But any like sentimental images and all that, I don't delete them. But I guess like now I'm trying to, I guess, not take like 20 shots of the exact same thing. I'm trying to like take shots that actually matter. So I guess one way to conserve storage, but not also to create like artificial like lost media, if that makes a sense. But yeah, what else has been happening today? Not much, just trip down memory lane, and yeah, like obviously I visited my grandfather for the first time in a while. And it's always a delight seeing your grandparents. In some ways, they are archives of their own lives and your family. They have a lot of stories to tell. And my grandfather's getting older. I don't know how long he'll have left. I mean, he's in good shape and all that. But like old people get old. You never know. Um, when's the last time you're going to see him? And I don't want to make this video bleak or anything, but, that's why I like to hang around the older generation, hear the last of their stories and all that. So, yeah, I guess, in a way, that's what I like to do, just archiving stuff. And what else? Oh, yeah, Vivid is still going on, and I think it ends in, like, less than 2 weeks' time. Oh man, it's already Sunday. Yeah, this week's gone by very fast, even though I didn't really have a whole lot to do. Next week I got some things planned. Um, but obviously Supernova is in 2 weeks' time. Tokens go on sale tomorrow. So that way I can sort of reserve the people that I want to meet and all that, all the celebrities. Even though I don't really like the token system, it's unnecessary evil, if you ask me, with conventions. But anyway, so what else has been happening today? Well, yeah, I mean, well, now I've also started to back up a lot of my games on my computer, like a lot of my old PS2 games as well. I'm really just using my time now to properly archive my stuff. And who knows, maybe I have like hidden photos and videos on some old hard drive. I know I got like some old videos of me when I was like 2 years old. I think the earliest video of me that I can find is me at Parliament House in Canberra when I was like 2 years old. That's like the earliest known video. I might upload it to my main channel. It's like a short clip, but yeah, it's really hard to, I guess, find that sort of stuff. Because I guess people back then, they took a lot of photos and videos and stuff, and they just stash them away, they throw them out. Some people do, which is atrocious. But for me, it's all about conserving the past. I already have. I really started to get into like photography and all that in around 2019, 2020, around the time of the pandemic. So I still got like the earliest photos on my like hard drives and all that from like 2019 and 2020, they're already like somewhat valuable because they're like from 5 to 6 years ago. And I've taken like some city shots during like COVID-19 where there's like no cars around. And that stuff will really be useful down the line. Obviously, like yet again, I'm trying to find old images of myself and my family and all that, and just the things around me. But I also like to find recent images because the stuff that I take now, yet again, might not be valuable now, but who knows in 30 years' time when it will be. And yeah, I guess to this point, video journal series is also valuable. I mean, 20 years of video content certainly will be valuable. And I kind of like when you just like forget about a piece, like an image or an experience, and then reviewing that photograph like 2 decades later, you just suddenly get all those memories again. It just creates a clear picture. I really like that. That's something I want to do. Just like not even know something, like just forget something, and then you click on a video or whatever, and you're just like, oh yes, it brings back all the memories. Unless you're like, 2 years old. In that case, you would have not remembered anything. Yeah, and I encourage yet again all of you to archive all your family stuff and all that, all the sentimental stuff as well. Digitize. It's all really easy to do now, and I guess now I can close that book. Talk about life here in 2026. Yes, I'm still applying for jobs. I haven't heard back. It's really hard to hear back. Like some places they tell you if you didn't get the job, which is nice. I haven't been to any job interviews this year, but you hand in your application online, you go through these AI generated interviews. For those who are living, I guess, 20 years, 30 years, or whatever you're watching this in the future, here in 2026, yeah, a lot of our job interviews online are not job interviews, but when you hand in your application online for a job, you have to go through these like AI interviews where you just speak with a chatbot, upload videos of you answering questions. It's so dumb. All right, imagine telling this to someone like 20 years ago. They'll think you're off your head, but it's what we have to do here now. Like, I just want to do a job interview, like hand in my application, do a job interview, like that sort of thing. Why do we have to implement chatbots to do all this crap for us? Like, and especially for like a job like in retail, for instance. This isn't like a CIA level job. It's a job in retail, and you want me to explain to you, what's your favorite hobbies, record a video of yourself, that sort of thing. It should just be, can you do the job? If so, yes, I want you in on Monday, sort of thing. I know people, have like, other commitments and all that. Maybe they have physical or something like that, disabilities, and that's stuff that should be noted on the application and all that. Are you Australian citizen? What visa are you on? All that sort of stuff. But you shouldn't upload videos of yourself onto these job application process sites or whatever when they send you the link. It's just so unnecessary. And the last time I got a job, I just had to do an online application. This was right before the whole AI ChatGPT trend and all that. But now I'm starting to experience it. It's just so annoying. Like I said, I think this whole AI thing is just going to go away. The dot-com bubble, right? Hopefully this won't be around for much longer. This sort of, I guess, over-reliance or just inappropriate use of AI, basically. I know I sound like old man yelling at cloud, and I know I've been talking about these last couple of videos, but, you know, it's on my mind. This is what the video journal series is about, where you talk about stuff that's on your mind. Anyway, so that was my little rant. And hopefully people 20 and 30, 50, 100 years from now will be looking back on this video and be, you know, I guess be informed. And you can use this video on your history exam. Don't worry, just cite it underneath video journal 119 by Joshua's Video Extravaganza, whatever citation system that you use. And I'm going to give you all the, I guess, all the hacks, as the youngsters like to call it, or I'll give you like a cheat sheet to use in your history exams 20 or 30 years from now if you have to write about AI or the 2020s. Basically, yeah, I guess, obviously now, you know, the economy, at least, you know, here in Australia, and mostly around the world, you know, is, could be better. I guess now we're living in a time where, obviously, you know, you see developments in technology, and then people fear that technology is going to take over jobs. You know, you hear conflict and war on the news. You hear whatever Donald Trump's doing, and he's the president of the United States here in 2026. I don't know who's going to be the US president in 2046 or 2066. But, you know, I feel like it'll be interesting to what, I guess, people view the year 2026 as, or just the 2020s. You know, I guess, yeah. What else has been in the news? What else? Yeah, just the same old, same old. And I guess, you know, if I had to provide another piece of advice for history students 20 years from now, if you're reviewing the 2020s, you know, look at as many photographs as you can. I can link it back to photographs. Look at as many photographs as you can during lockdown. Look at Time magazine's like top pictures of the 2020s or whatever. Look at a photograph, because a picture really is 1,000 words. You know, look at those images of lockdown, for instance. Those images we can't replicate again. When you see like New York City or Paris, you know, just basically dead. You know, no cars around, no people around. It really looks like a zombie apocalypse movie. Just look at those images, and you'll get a great understanding of what the past is like. Just like when I looked at those old images of like my parents and all that. You get a glimpse of what the past was like. Even if you may have not lived in that time, or you're too young to remember it, you get an idea of what the past is like. A picture is 1,000 words. And yeah, that's and I've taken a few images throughout the 2020s and all that. Some COVID related, just some related to trains and all that. And you know, I feel like when the time's relevant, I'll, I guess, upload all that stuff, and you know, people will be looking back saying, "Wow, the 2020s were wild," you know. And would it be like, I guess, great nostalgia for the 2020s? I've been speaking about this a lot recently, but would it be nostalgia? People go like, "Oh, I wish I can go back to the coziness of lockdown," you know. 2020s had like banger movies like Oppenheimer and all that. You know, like how we view the 80s nowadays. Like the 80s wasn't all like, you know, glittering and all that, but, you know, arguably the 80s were, I guess. I don't know, were the 80s better than the 2020s? Most people say yes now, but if you go to the 80s and ask someone what's their opinion of the 80s, and they're just going to give you like a whole list of problems. Yet again, I guess it just depends on who you're asking, and I guess it depends on, like, you know, what a historian has to say about it. I guess different historians have different lens, but arguably, I think the 2020s have been like the most craziest decade we've had in a lot of human history over the last like maybe 100 years. A lot has happened. Some good, a lot of bad, unfortunately. But you know, my job, I feel like, is to at least archive it and to educate future generations about the 2020s. You know, like simple things from like job hunting to, I guess, what you see in everyday life, what you hear on the news, technology, you know, or just like even going to a grocery store. Like I've been going to a few JB Hi-Fis, and I noticed that they rearranged the store layout and they've upgraded the store and all that. Good and all, But whenever you go in a store with like a new layout, you just feel like a foreigner. You're like, you've been in that store so many times, but yet everything's so new, and now you got to readjust. Which is what I hate, because I'm used to like walking into JB Hi-Fi and being able to turn left and expecting all this stuff over here. But now, when I turn left, none of that's there. It's all in the middle of the store now. So you got to go to the middle of the store, refamiliarize yourself with all the aisles, see that they're taking a lot of things out of the way, put new stuff in. That's what I hate. Like, can't stores just leave the store layout the same? They could always change it with I guess putting new products, but whenever rearrange the shelves and aisles, underwear is no longer there, it's now over there. Like, why? Just to confuse shoppers more and to create the illusion of constant improvement. It's just bogus. That's why I just like a grocery store, for instance. Aisle 1 is always this, aisle 2 is always that. Because grocery stores are made for convenience. But I guess with retail stores, they want to appeal fresh and new, add new stuff. But just such a radical change, I can never comprehend. I'm always used to going to JB Hi-Fi, being able to turn left, seeing all the music CDs and DVDs. Because that seems like with most JBs, you turn left when you enter the store and you see all that media stuff. But now it's all rearranged, and who knows, maybe it'll be completely different. But I like to archive that sort of stuff, Because, I doubt much people taking photos inside of retail stores. Maybe that would seem a little bit suspicious, but, just archiving those small little things, And I guess to really conclude this video, archive as much stuff as you can, as possibly archive as much stuff as you can, basically. Archive all the sentimental stuff, and take notice of the things that's happening around you. And like I said, the 2020s certainly are a historical year, a historical decade. So can I speak English at this time of time? Very much a historical decade, and obviously I feel bad for any history students who have to study the 2020s. It'll be basically like studying the 60s. A lot of things happened in the 60s. But I feel like I'm very interested to see how it will be analysed in history years from now. And as for my life's going good. I know I speak a lot of doom and gloom, but life's been good and all that. I looked at the upside, of not having work, and I'm like, I have more time to add to my archive. But yet again, though, it is quite infuriating here, and I'm sure some of you may have experienced this, where you're trying to look for a job and you have to go for these rounds of interviews. And my advice is just to hang in there, obviously, but to always persist. You got to get knocked back quite a few times with a job, but listen, the worst thing they can do to you is just reject you. So if you just keep on trying again, you eventually get something. You eventually get something. You can get knocked back 3 times, but on your 4th time, maybe you get accepted to a job interview. You never know when the circumstances may change for an employer. That's just my little piece of job advice. But and alright, the 2020s are about to be over. We only have 3.5 years of this decade left, so not long left. But anyway, I gotta go, and I'll catch you all later. Bye. See ya. Take care. Catch you all tomorrow.